Australia. The land of opportunities offers much more to aspiring immigrants than you would imagine. Great lifestyle, career opportunities, work-life balance, affordable quality education, social security and health benefits, incredible sports facilities, and world-class living, just to name a few. Australia has a strong economy and low unemployment rate, and offers salaries that well justify your professional credentials and expectations. Are you a skilled immigrant struggling to find your perfect job in Australia? Have you applied for several jobs and getting very few to no interview calls at all? Have you been interviewed but consistently getting rejection letters and wondering why? Are you a resilient professional who is really serious about investing your time and money in quickly finding your dream job? It doesn't matter whether you're in Australia or overseas, we are here to help you. Based in Melbourne, Career Launch Australia is a professional career mentoring service offered to global skilled immigrants to secure their perfect Australian job in weeks instead of months, and getting paid what they deserve, even if they don't have local experience. Immigrant coaching is much more than just career coaching. It involves understanding the mindset and thought process of individual immigrants at an emotional level, and professionally helping them with their job search. Empathy and heart-to-heart connection is crucial for immigrant coaching, and you will surely notice it in CLA consultants. Qualified professionals who have already got their Australian PR, work visa, or those who have applied for Australian PR and are likely to get their visa in the near future, proactively start working with CLA and acquire job search breakthrough techniques. This often results in them quickly securing the job they love after they migrate to Australia. CLA's proven success blueprints offers immigrant professionals practical tools and mindset they need to quickly succeed in their new life and career in Australia. CLA has been marketing their clients successfully into their preferred careers since more than 10 years, giving them both competence and confidence to win the high-paying positions they deserve. Our fully customizable mentoring package includes executive resume writing, LinkedIn profile, interview preparation, addressing key selection criteria, salary projection and negotiation, and most importantly, strategic networking techniques and connecting you with industry connections. A study shows that recruiters spend only 6 seconds reviewing an individual resume. Does your resume stand out in 6 seconds? On an average, every corporate job receives around 250 applications. Does your application hit the nail on the head? 89% of recruiters report hiring candidates through LinkedIn. Does your LinkedIn profile attract interest? 92% of employers and recruiters hire or plan to hire candidates through networks or referrals. How many recruiters do you know? 85% of critical jobs are filled via networking of some sort. Do you know how to strategically network with the right people and access the hidden job market? Average Australian full-time salary is $5,000 a month. You're losing this huge amount every month you're jobless for, and you're using your own hard-earned overseas money to survive in Australia. Could you afford to sustain this double loss? Time is ticking, so don't wait any further. Come and have a chat with us to quickly secure your dream job.
Mark Victor Hansen once observed, he said, "Don't wait till everything is just right. It will never be perfect. There will always be challenges, obstacles, and less than perfect conditions. So what? Get started now. With each step you take, you will grow stronger and stronger, more and more skilled, more and more confident, and more successful." My name is Rajiv Bedse, and you are watching us live on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. I'm now joined by Mitali. It's my great pleasure, and it's my honor and pleasure to interview Mitali, who has recently secured her 100K job as a sustainability manager in Sydney. There has been a little bit of internet glitch since we started, 5 minutes before. And my sincere apologies for running a little bit late because of that internet issues. I believe we are still dealing with the internet issues because Mitali, she was online right now, and I'm hoping that she will appear on the screen at any point of time. But just to let you a little bit of Mitali, where she comes from and what her credentials are. She is a sustainability expert offering 14 years of multinational experience with global leaders in identification, implementation, management, and review of sustainability strategies for ensuring risk mitigation and social reputation enhancement. She has extensive hands on experience of working on 100 plus iconic projects with multidisciplinary teams and demonstrated track record of delivering high quality, robust sustainability outcomes with commercial acumen and profitability. Mitali also has proven experience in launching startup in sustainability consultancy and spearheaded growth and operations to be independent advisory service for built environment. Now today Mitali has expressed her willingness to talk about certain things which are of most importance to her. So let's wait for Mitali comes online, and then I will start talking to her. Till that time, the guys who have joined this live simulcast, if you have any questions that I can answer for you with regards to your job search in Australia, it will be my pleasure. So keep those questions coming until Mitali appears once again. I will be talking to you live, and I'll be answering your questions. We have here Varun Potbare, who has Varun is Mitali's husband. His story is very interesting. Varun and Mitali, they both migrated to Australia from Qatar. I think back in November or December last year, and then Varun got the job. He is our first client who got the job while he was in Qatar, and he got a job in Sydney. He secured the job in Sydney, and then he started working in that job while he was there in Sydney. So um, Varun has really done well, and now we are joined by Mitali. Looks like she is online. So Mitali, welcome to this live simulcast. How are you doing?
Hello, sir. Doing very well, thank you. Sorry for the small interruption that happened. Thank you, sir, for this great opportunity to share my experience of relocating to Australia from Qatar. It has been a very fulfilling journey.
Now I have
So excited to
introduced
share
you
this with
to
everyone.
I have introduced you to the viewers and told them exactly where you come from, what your credentials are. Now, I also told them that you have expressed your willingness about talking about certain things that are very important to you. So let's begin with the thing that you want to talk about. The first thing you wanted to
Yeah.
tell everybody is you wanted to share your unique story of relocating to Sydney from Qatar during COVID times and how you were able to settle down given the challenges of the current time.
Yes, definitely. I mean, our story is very unique because of not just us entering a totally new country, which we had never ever visited, but also because of the pandemic, the COVID pandemic, which made things even more complicated in terms of travel, logistics, and all the restrictions, the economy, which went on a downturn. Also, we were traveling with a young kid, a 2-year-old daughter, Isha, and it was so important to take care of all aspects of our family life and also our personal life at the same time.
It looks like we are still facing those issues, Mitali, because I'm not able to hear you. I think nobody can hear you. So if you can just log out and log in once again, that will help her. I believe. All right, till Mitali appears once again. Let's keep talking, and I can see that there are some messages coming in. We have wow, we have Vandana here. Vandana, Vandana is saying, "So good to see you, both of you here." Thank you so much, Vandana. It's such a pleasure to see you here as well. So Mitali, Vandana says hi to you.
Yes, sir. There is. Yes, sir.
Can you hear me and can you see me, Mitali? Looks like you don't. That's okay. You can fix those issues, and I can. Yeah, can you hear me, Mitali? Can you see me?
So, am I audible?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear us by any chance? Mitali, we can hear you. All right, that's cool. Let's keep moving till Mitali is fixing those issues with the internet. Who else do we have? We have, oh, Bapi Bapi. Congratulations. Thank you so much, Bapi Bapi. Really much sincerely appreciated. Um, who else we have? Um, oh yes, Vandana is saying. Vandana says such an important discussion, especially immigrating during the pandemic. Absolutely, you are absolutely spot on. I mean, Vandana, you migrated to Australia just a few years ago, and of course, you were lucky enough to not come here during pandemic. But I suppose for all those people who have come to Australia, who have migrated to Australia during this pandemic, and who have been able to get the jobs during the pandemic, hats off to all those people, because you're making the biggest move in your life, and when you are moving to a whole new country, and that too with so much of uncertainty around you, that's a big challenge. And I guess our client Akash and Arti, they were in the same situation last year when they moved here, right during the mid of COVID. But I suppose these things have most definitely taught people a few things, and they have definitely make them much stronger than what they were before. So, all right. So we will move on, and we'll see if I have any particular questions that I can help people with in terms of the job search. Um, all right. We have a lot of messages here, but I'm just looking for the messages which are kind of questions. Let me go through these questions quickly till Mitali comes back online. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, so Bapi Bapi has a question. He says, I am of 30 plus and I am an individual trader right now and waiting for government jobs. Can I get a job in Australia? Well, getting a job in Australia, Bapi, is something which is always possible, but there are some stringent guidelines that you have to follow. You cannot get a job in Australia if you do not have a PR visa, and that applies to any sector, any field that you want to work in. So you will need to get the Australian PR first, and then it will be easy for you to come to Australia and then get a job, because unlike in the Middle East, in Australia, you must have a PR visa. You can't have the sponsorships. Sponsorships are offered in very limited cases, and then it'll be very hard for you to find a job without having that PR visa. So you need to have either the sponsorship or you will need to have work permit. In both cases, they are not offered here in Australia. So that will stop you from getting the job in Australia. So my advice to you would be, Bapi, is that you look for a migration agent closer to you, and then he will be able to help you in telling you whether you are eligible for getting that PR visa in Australia, and then you can take it from there. All right. I think Mitali is online once again. Good to see you again.
Hello, sir.
You can hear us, you can see us.
Hello, sir. Sorry, there is some, I think, weather issue happening outside, and because of which the internet is going totally for a toss. Can
That's
you hear
okay.
me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me? And you can see me? Looks like you are still not able to hear me or see me. But yeah,
Yeah,
you
I can
fix.
hear you now. Okay, much better.
Okay. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, much
Perfectly
better.
okay?
Sorry, sir, there was some weather issue going on. Yeah, all good.
That's okay. No problem. So while you were fixing those issues, we have received a lot of messages from people. And the one thing that
Nice.
you missed is, a few things that you missed is Vandana actually was congratulating, and she said, "So good to see both of you here." Um, and then,
Thank
and
you,
then she said,
Vandana.
"It is." She said, "It is such an important discussion, especially immigrating during the pandemic." So let's keep going ahead. And so you were sharing your story of coming to Australia
Yes.
right in the middle of
Yes.
COVID, all the way from Qatar. So please go ahead.
Yes. And the challenge was not just relocating in the middle of the pandemic, but also with our little daughter, who we were going to be, taking care of all on our own for the first time, which sounds weird because we in India and even in Qatar, we had so much help in respect to taking care of her. We had our parents all the time with us. We had a full-time nanny. So letting go of that and that comfort zone was itself such a big challenge, which you helped us overcome. So thankful to you, sir, for that.
No problem. You're all the time. You're always welcome. All right. So let's take a few more questions. So Vandana is saying once again, glitches are a part and parcel of our lives. That is so true.
Yes, this is how life is. You plan something, but something else happens, and you have to be
Absolutely.
prepared.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There is someone who wants to say hi to you. It is Umesh.
Yeah. Hi, Umesh. He's my uncle. Thank you for
Ah,
joining us. Thank you so much.
wow. Wow, that's incredible.
He's an
Is he joining
advocate
you from
himself.
India or he is here?
Yeah,
He's
from Mumbai. He's an advocate
ah,
himself and very
okay.
successful. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Cool. Now we have Manideep.
Hi, Manideep. He says, congratulations. Thank you so much. Would like to hear your unique story. Yes, for sure. So I was just telling about my story, which was, if I can begin, it was starting from when we received our PR in January 2020. And it was we were so excited after that because we wanted to visit Australia with our parents and just have a first hand experience of what Australian culture and lifestyle looked like, because me and Varun had never experienced that. And before we could plan about it, there comes COVID, and how the impact it has had on all our lives, but for us especially because we've been wanting to make such a big move. And after that, it was all our plans went for a toss. There was so much uncertainty around when we would be able to, enter Australia, even for the first time. It was a big question mark. All that was happening until we found Rajiv sir and Career Launch Australia. And I think we connected instantly. It was I think an instant connection, because he is so clear on what is organization has to offer, and we were seeking exactly that. So we have then been all along this journey with Rajiv sir and CLA team. uh, all his whole program was based on a structured approach of how we can prepare ourselves, and luckily we had the time to prepare, so we took that opportunity. We made sure that we were preparing ourselves alongside we were giving our Australian accreditations, which is important in our industry, like Green Star, like ISCA. This is very important for our professional development. But alongside that, we were preparing with Rajiv so on this program. And as you would know it, within a couple of months, I think 4 months later, Varun secured a job in Qatar itself. uh,
Mm.
which was such a big thing, at that time,
Relief.
which, yes sir, nothing heard of. We have not heard of someone having a job before moving to Australia.
No, he was our first client who got a
Yeah,
job, who secured a job while he was overseas. So that
right.
was a great achievement, and he has given us a video testimonial which
Yes.
many people must have watched by now.
Yeah.
But going one step back, you said there was something else you wanted to share. What mental fears and limiting beliefs you had, and
Yes
why
sir.
one should get over them very quickly.
Yes, yes, for sure. So I think mental fear, read a line somewhere, it so resonated with me. Mental fear is mostly in the head, and it's in our thoughts and hardly in our life. So,
Hmm.
we are mostly having all these limitations only in our head. And that makes it even more challenge, makes it challenging to meet our goals. So it's important to come out of it as quickly as it is possible. For me, I would say I had that the primary mental fear that I had was around how I would be able to care for my child, because till now it has been a whole network of support. I just, like I told you, my parents are, my mother-in-law, my help. They've been so important while I was working in Qatar, and suddenly to like be without that support, I'm sure a lot of
Hmm.
working mothers will totally resonate with this, and it was a different challenge. uh, so that was number one factor for me, that how will I be able to care, and how me and Varun be able to share the responsibilities. The number two fear what I had was, as a professional who had a certain experience already, like I have had 15 years of experience in
Hmm.
India and in Qatar. So I didn't want to start from the scratch. Like, my expectations were definitely to grow from a
Yes.
level that I came from. Yeah. So these were two main fears, and the third one, the pandemic. I think it got all that fear in all of us. The anxiety around the travel restrictions, and the economy. Whether this was the right time for us to even enter Australia because of the job scenario. Uh, but I think, sir, you have been so instrumental, and you've been absolutely that anchor while we have been navigating in this ship to get to the shore of Australia.
No, thank you. Cool. Let's take one question. I have a question for you. If you can please read it out loud and then answer that question.
Yes, sure. Thank you, Mayur, for this question. I think it's very important that, by your experience, what are the most common problems faced by employees in Australia? What are the most common problems? I would say definitely the lack of experience, which I also face. Like, whenever I was getting calls from recruiters, the first thing they typically asked was, okay, what is your experience been like in Australia? And when I could tell them and share my story that I've just relocated, it was like, okay, so we'll come back to you. So I think that's the number one issue that we face. uh, Other than that, it is that knowing that there are so many opportunities out there, but you just need to know how do you navigate towards it. So yeah, that's
Exactly, and Mitali, you are a great example that even if you had, this is one of the limiting factors that many fresh graduates or less experienced professionals coming from overseas have.
yes,
They think that I don't have much experience, but the reality is that for somebody like you who had 15 years of experience, and still you were asked if you had any local experience in
yeah,
Australia.
yeah,
The most important thing is that even if you did not have the local experience,
yes,
even if you never worked in Australia at all, the only thing that you had was a PR, and
yes,
you then figured out your way around it to such an extent that it was this is your first job in Australia, and it is 100K plus job. I mean, that is a you are a great example of how uh, you know you can get over that limiting belief what
yeah.
people they kind of feed in you saying that you don't have local experience, but you didn't have local experience, so you have really done very well.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. But really, like it starts from your head, and then it translates in your body language, and
Correct.
then the confidence dips. So if you know your value, and you know what you bring to the table, that's when you become more of a giver. Like, so
Yes.
you have also mentored us in this direction, and it was not an overnight mindset change. It was a slow, gradual process getting there. But ultimately, I think what you tried to get us was shift our mindset completely
Hmm.
from seeking a job to kind of being able to add value, and that
Hmm.
is so much of empowerment in itself, and that has helped us tremendously.
Absolutely. Now, you also wanted to talk about importance of having winning mindset and
Yeah.
superior philosophy in your job search.
Yes. Yes, for sure. So like I just mentioned, mindset is the game changer. It all starts with your mind, your thoughts, your thinking pattern, your beliefs, and all the information you feed in your mind. So, for
Hmm.
instance, there's so much myth about, relocating to Australia, that it is probably, there is so much of, difference, discrimination. Indians, probably are not given that treatment, or
Hmm.
even things like you have to start from any job you can really get.
Hmm. Hmm.
So you really give us facts and figures about these myths, and with your story yourself, you were able to inspire that. But even with the mentoring that you had, the support that you gave, we were completely able to change that mindset one by one. All the anxiety around these myths got over, and that then gave us the confidence that it is not really something. So the winning philosophy is then, it is a overall development of the mindset, or the pattern that the way you think, rather than just for a job search. I would again say that your philosophy, so, has helped overall, not just for a job search.
Hmm.
Job search was a big part of it. And honestly, I was never really about job search. For me, this whole program was more about how I can develop myself and meet my
Hmm.
goals, whatever I wish to kind of challenge myself with. And so this has done that. Job search was a very important part of it, for sure, to succeed in the life in Australia. But that winning philosophy has been a game changer, for sure.
Oh, fantastic. We have Rohit. Rohit is saying congratulations to both of you. Thank you so much,
Thank you so
Rohit.
much, Rohit. Thank you so much.
We have Shritesh Patil.
Thank you so much, Ritesh. Thanks so much. I
Shritesh,
hope
you
they are
better
all
watch
with you,
this
sir.
because we will be doing this with you
Yeah.
in about couple of weeks' time. So
All right.
Shritesh had just recently got a job in his field.
Nice.
So yeah, so
Congratulations, Ritesh. So
yes,
you
yes,
are
I'm
also deserving of
very
this.
very proud of him. Very proud of him. Um, okay, Vandana has got a question. She says, "What is the most important skill being looked for at this time of pandemic?" pandemic.
Wow.
Sorry.
Wow, I can expect such a amazing question from Vandana because she herself is such an amazing coach.
Yes, she's a brilliant coach. She's a mindset mentor. She is wonderful. She is incredible.
Yes, definitely. So to answer to your question, Vandana, what I feel is the most important skill, and what people are really seeking is they're looking at your passion. I feel because it is so difficult for them to monitor when you're working from home what you're doing. So it definitely translates to your soft skills, and the passion and the energy that you get to your role, and how involved you are. And that means you have to be totally on top of your game. You have to be able to add more value than they really expect out of you. So giving 150%, I would say, is what is being expected even when you're working from home in challenging times. But I would say now, it's been a couple of months, and your employers are really very supportive. They truly understand that you have to maintain your work life balance. But in spite of that, the professionalism is really amazing. Like I have experienced it now firsthand while working here.
Yeah, absolutely. We have Samant. Samant is saying, "Good evening, sir. Good evening to you as well, Samant. Nice to see you here." Satish Kumar is saying, "The last 1 year PR delayed or not issued. So now, normally, how much time it takes for P? He means PR, I think. Look, Satish, I would love to give an answer, but we are not a migration agent. We don't have any expertise with regards to PR. So, you will need to contact your migration agent or maybe the Australian Immigration Department themselves.
That's correct.
Um,
Satish is actually a colleague of mine from Qatar. Yeah,
ah,
yeah,
okay.
and
Nice
I
to see you joining in,
yes,
Satish.
yes, I
Wow.
think he definitely would, be this guidance from your career launch Australia will be very helpful to him. But yes, Satish, so starts where PR ends, so you'll have to,
I
you
know.
know,
And unfortunately, we don't have any expertise and we are not, we don't have any knowledge about the PRV and kind of thing. So, Satish, and I can't really help you. Sorry.
yeah,
Um, who do we have? We have Umesh. What job opportunities you have for a student who has done product designs from NIFT? Umesh, if you are not in Australia, if you haven't studied in Australia, then obviously you will need to get a PR to come to Australia, and only then you will be able to get a job, regardless of what qualifications you have. Uh,
correct.
Mayur has got a good question. How was your experience before and after joining CLA, Mitali?
Yeah. Thanks, Mayur, for your question. Really, before joining CLA, like I mentioned, it was a lot of confusion because we had heard so many stories about people who had immigrated to Australia and had struggled a lot before they could successfully establish themselves or their lives here. So it was that experience which was frightening, to say the least. But after joining, and because we were still in Qatar, we hadn't started applying or something like that. So I cannot talk about job search, but this whole, mindset, which was of confusion and anxiety, totally subsided. And CLA gave us so much clarity and such a strategic, way of approaching things in terms of job search, especially, or even in terms of settling down, that it was truly helpful.
Oh, great. Thank you. We have a question from Revati Shivatari, and she says, "Hello, Raju sir and Mitali. Hello, Revati.
Hi, Revati.
Congratulations to you both. Thank you.
Thank
I
you.
had a question about how to enhance the experience that we have overseas, not a local experience to Australia, while applying for jobs for it to be considered." Do you want to answer that question, Mitali, or
Yes,
you want
yes.
me to
So
answer?
I can
Yeah.
give my experience about
Yes.
this one. That definitely, this is the biggest challenge that we have. While we move to Australia, that we have no local experience, but we need to leverage from what we have previously contributed in other organizations, or even in other situations where we were able to add value. And for this to happen, you really need to delve a little bit, inside, and explore what values or what contributions or what key strengths you possess. So Revati, really it's about soft skills, and about you being able to be confident in your skin and exuberate that confidence to your employer, to finally get that opportunity. So it is just in the mind. Don't worry. I think we can still get about our dream and get the dream job. And it has totally been my experience. Now I think I love my job. I simply love the organization. It aligns with my values and my mission in life as well. So I think this wouldn't have been possible if I wouldn't have understood what I really wanted out of my career. So yes, definitely.
And just to add to that, Revati, like Mitali said, this is just a limiting belief that most people have. But I got a good news for you. The good news is that we at Career Launch Australia, we deal only with fresh graduates who are overseas students, and we only deal with experienced professionals who are immigrants in this country. And practically none of our clients have got any local experience. So that goes to prove that local experience is not the only thing or the only criterion because of which you will get a job. um, all right, let's progress through the question that you and the information that you wanted to share with us. um, yes, you wanted to share how the mock employer interview conducted by CLA before your actual interview helped you.
Yes, definitely. This was, I think, the last step towards, getting that opportunity that you are seeking. But it comes in the way because you sometimes are not confident enough to express yourself well. So in my case, it definitely, I think it helped me, be more calm, composed, and confident in order to express myself better, and in order to, convince about what I have done previously and what I can get to the table. The mock interview was so helpful because it is almost like a training to face the real interview. And it, I think, just really helped me because I prepared quite well, I think, for that mock interview, which translated in my and I would say, I had almost like 3 rounds of interviews, which like you can say there were casual catch-ups in the first instance and the last instance, but it was still like behavioral questions being asked. And because of the feedback that we got from CLA's team about how I performed, I think I could improvise, and it really helped.
Beautiful. And just on that, I guess Rohit has got one more question. How was your interview experience and how many interviews you had?
Yeah, yeah, Rohit. So that's what I was explaining, that my interview experience was exactly like what Rajiv sir was saying. It is definitely different from what I've experienced in India and Middle East, and I've worked for quite a bit of organizations. But here in Australia, they are quite behavioral style of
Hmm.
interview, where they want to see what you did with the situation, rather than
Hmm.
just see that, okay, this is what you possess and these are the technical skills. That's not as important as how your attitude and how you kind of added value to that challenge and then got the best results. So I had, for my experience, I actually gave just, I was lucky. I think I really got a job quickly. This was just, I think, my first or second interview, and I had 3 rounds of the interviews. So they all went perfectly well. And more than that, I think at the end of it, I was happy with my answers, and I was happy with what I had to share with them. So I felt good about it. It was not scary at all.
Oh, beautiful. We have another question from Shashi Narayanan. What is your view on applicants who are of advanced years?
Hi,
Oh.
Shashi. So he is my ex-boss from
Ah,
Qatar,
good to see you,
and
Shashi.
he is in Qatar, and he is very well qualified, and I think has so much experience, and he has managed our team so well on the Doha Metro project that we could achieve what we had set out for. So thanks for joining, Shashi. Uh, in what is your view on applicants for advanced years? I think you get more value to the table because organizations are, and especially in sustainability in Australia, they don't have as many people around, honestly, and to get people from overseas with your kind of experience, I think it would just enhance anybody's capabilities as an organization in the team. So definitely, I think you can add a lot of value.
Is he planning to come to Australia?
I don't know. You never.
Okay, okay,
It looks like, but
okay, no problem. Here we go. We got the director of Career Launch Australia welcoming you.
hello, Pratibha ma'am. Thank you so much, and thank you for your help. It's been amazing.
Vandana has got one more question. How did you win the confidence of the employers, even if you did not have any local experience? What was the strategy? What did you rather um, help them with? How was the lack change to gain? Wow.
Wow.
Great question, Vandana.
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing the way you get captured it. Uh, yeah, like I was saying, so how did you win the confidence? I think I think what they were really seeking for my role was somebody who had an experience in sustainability in the built environment, and there are, I think, fewer professionals because this is a relatively new field. So it was more about what have you done in other projects around internationally in India, say in Qatar, because I had experience of working of World Cup 2022 projects, which is the Doha Metro and the Ras Bood Stadium. So I could tell them what I have done in terms of the sustainability requirements and how I've contributed towards it. So not once did they bother, or they did not ask me about any local experience. They have just kind of connected with the value that I got, and they could connect that I was genuinely telling them about it. So once you have that, they can see it, and that helps to create, change their mindset from what is lacking in her to what she can get to the table.
Yeah, it's all about adding value. It's all about, exhiberating that confidence and, that passion.
Yes.
That's what people want to see in you.
Yes, for sure. So,
Um, all right. Yes, Vandana makes a further point. She says that's such an inspiring answer. Passion drives us all. How we add value to the life of others is what matters most. Thank you. And that
yes,
exactly is, I think that is your value as well. Because Vandana, you believe
yes,
in contributing to other people's lives, and you are a
yes,
true giver as well.
definitely. I see Vandana a lot and also seeking inspiration on her Facebook post all the time. So, thank you,
Oh yeah,
Vandana. Thank you for that.
she's amazing.
Yes.
Akash is saying congratulations, Mitali. Good to have Rajesh sir as a mentor. His mentoring sessions are very helpful.
Thank you,
All I can say,
Akash.
Akash, to you is thank you.
Thank you, Akash.
Um, Shrikant, he's saying congratulations, Mitali. What steps you, what steps you take keep keep you away from negative thoughts? Did you follow Rajiv sir's job search lifestyle? And please suggest us how to manage it. Good question.
Yes, good question, Shrikant. So to answer your question, Shrikant, for me personally, or luckily, I didn't kind of go through that because, as you can see, as soon as I started, I got a job, which is amazing. I know, but it didn't give me that path to take. But Rajiv sir provides, because, and I think I was confident because Rajiv sir gave us all the resources in terms of how, if you get rejection, how do you approach it. To answer your question, you definitely have to follow Rajiv sir's advice on this. He gives a very detailed kind of a strategy. And negative thoughts is, we are all human at the end of the day. I would be lying if I said that negative thoughts don't creep up. Of course they do, but it is what you do with them after that, the courage that you gather with it, the introspection that you do, the best meditation, a technique which everybody talks about in all of the sessions and simulcast, is a sure short way to maintain your clarity around your purpose of why you're doing what you're doing, and then kind of again gather the courage, show up, and then start life as it comes, one day at a time. So yes, yes, it will definitely help you.
Sure. We have Ketan. Congratulations, Mitali. All the best.
Thank you, Ketan. Thank you so much.
Ketan is in Sydney, and he not only he did extremely well. Not only he got his first job quickly in Sydney, but he
Hmm.
had just recently got his second job in Sydney, and
Wow.
that is a very high 100K plus job. So very
Wow.
proud of Ketan.
Congratulations, Ketan. You're doing amazing.
Manideep has a question. How what successful interview experience? What interesting questions did you ask the recruiters?
Wow, nice. Uh, my How was your successful interview experience? Yeah, it, like I said previously, the interview process was quite rigorous. It was not easy. I wouldn't say it was easy or a cakewalk. There were detailed, specific questions, and it looked like they really wanted to get the right answer, or they really were seeking to know what I had to give. Uh, so definitely, it was 3 rounds of interviews. What was the interesting questions did I ask the recruiter? Well, I did ask about my role because I wanted more clarity around what I had to do exactly on the project, because it is quite a prestigious project. Uh, and I got the right answer. I got more clarity, so I was more keen on adding value. And I feel I just asked them about generic stuff, nothing, because they are a big company and everything is available that you want to know about them. So yeah, this was the main question that I asked about my role and what are the expectations out of me for it.
Yeah, absolutely. Mayur has got a question. Can you walk us through your job offer journey? Like how many levels of interviews you gave and how were they? I think you answered this question.
Yeah.
This was your second interview after you came to Australia, and you had
Yes.
3 rounds of interviews, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Vamsi Kumar has got a question. Congratulations. Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Vamsi.
What advice you have for someone who is new to their job search?
Yeah.
Vamsi is, by the way, he's a fresh graduate and he's looking for a job in his field. So
Okay.
yes, your advice will most definitely help him.
Yes, yes, Vamsi. So he is, he's graduated from Australia, so, or he's relocated, or
No, he graduated from Australia recently.
okay, fresh
Yeah,
graduate, yeah.
yeah.
So definitely, Vamsi. I mean, that's your very big plus that you have graduated from, Australia itself,
Hmm.
and you are acquainted with, the culture or the lifestyle, because that's also something that they want you to be comfortable with. But to add to the job search, it is following each and every piece of advice or the session in terms of the value that you're getting, uh, and also your your crafting of the profile, which Rajiv sir does very well, just with what with the values that you talk about and explore within yourself. So all that, once it's down on one piece of paper, it definitely gets the recruiter to give you a call, I think. And then from there, it is about how you're grooming yourself and expressing yourself well.
Beautiful. We'll take a few questions quickly. Rohit is asking one more question, please. Which questions did you find was the hardest to answer in your job interview?
So Rohit, I had my interview like a couple of months back, but and I vaguely remember because I was just so focused on answering well. But the hardest question was, I think just around the my previous project, and what were the biggest challenges that I faced and how I kind of overcame that, because it was more like a team effort, and as a leader or as someone who managed a team, how I could turn around things quickly, which then added, in terms of cost and of cost savings, in terms of the time effort. How did I? So I think, putting it into figures, and putting it into percentages of what they want to hear. That was quite tough because I had to analyze things myself very quickly, for in order to do that. So
The
yeah, I
most
think
difficult question that was asked to me when I came to Australia
yeah.
was, what is the riskiest decision or riskiest thing that you have done in your life? And I
Wow.
struggled to answer that question for a long time. And when I found the answer, I loved it, and people loved it as well.
So what was that?
That was, I said to people, so typically in the field of sales, they ask you this question:
Mm-hmm.
what was the riskiest thing you have done? And all of a sudden, one fine morning, it kind of dawned on me, and I thought the riskiest decision that I have taken is migrating to a whole new country at the
Yeah,
age of 42, and Pratibha being 36 at the time, and my son and my daughter being, 15 and 13 years old.
yeah,
What can be the riskiest decision than this?
yeah.
And I simply
Totally agree.
said that to people, and people loved it.
That was
It's a
honestly, and
perspective.
I think we've done it two times over. We have relocated to Qatar and then relocated
Yes,
to Australia. So,
absolutely.
so
Yes,
I think they could see that, that we were so flexible and also so adaptable to new circumstances and to new situations, which were
yes,
actually turned in our favor rather than against it. Yeah.
yes, absolutely. All right, let's take a few more questions. People are loving you, Mitali. I got so many questions here.
So you're just being kind.
um, okay, we have Namrata.
Hi, Namrata. She's a dear friend from Mumbai.
Okay, good to see you, Namrata. Very nice to
Yes.
see you. Vandana is once again saying, very inspiring to see how Radio Medcessor is helping everyone to start on a strong foot here in Australia. Thank you so much.
Absolutely,
Thank you so
Vandana.
much,
He's
Vandana.
he's
Thank you
doing
so
an
much.
incredible job there.
Um, Tanesh,
Yeah, that's a very relevant question, Tanish. Thank you for that. And thank you for your congratulations. So he's asking, how was my work experience in Australia compared to in Qatar? Uh, so Qatar and Australia are very different in terms of the the work culture. In Qatar, obviously, we had a great opportunity. Like I told you, I had a great opportunity to work with. On Metro project, I was working on 14 different nationalities team. So you can imagine the amount of exposure we got, just
yes,
interacting with people. But again, it was very intensive role. Maybe it was not Qatar, but it was that role which required a rigorous time. We had to be there 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. And you can imagine, that kind of a thing. But in Australia, even if it's a construction role, but because of maybe the pandemic, now we're working from home, and it is quite possible to do that. So my this has been my work experience. But having said that, in terms of the professionalism, it's both are in highest regards. I mean, we've totally loved our experience in Qatar, and I think that set us up for success in Australia, because if we didn't have that work ethics, we didn't translate that kind of a professionalism, it would have definitely not worked in our favor, because I think our experience in Qatar really, really helped, and people and employers valued that a lot more. Yes, so that's
Yes.
been my experience. Yes.
Yes. Beautiful. Now, I was going to ask you this question, but I think Umesh has really hit the nail on the head. He is saying, did you plan your success strategies to go to Australia while you were in India or while in Doha? I mean, how did you think of going to Australia? Why not USA or any other developed country?
Wow. Well, that's a deep dive, and I think maybe he doesn't know about it. I'm sure he doesn't know about it. Varun, my husband, he has studied in the Michigan State University. Obviously he's worked and lived there for about 5 years. And then he came back to India because obviously I think he found better opportunity in India at that point of time. So going back to the US was definitely, and I think it's, I don't know, Australia seemed like a more beautiful country, honestly. It was more warm and inviting. Even for Varun, I think he's not thought about US for some reason. And we, honestly speaking, I have never been that keen on migrating, but it was all credit to Varun. He has planned well ahead for our family. He applied for this PR way back. It took almost 2 years for us to get PR. So obviously we started while we were in Doha, in Qatar, not in India for sure. No plans to go to Australia or to any other country. But having said that, Umesh Ahmad, this is a beautiful country. It's as developed as you can get. It's so systematic in terms of what infrastructure and the facilities that we have here. It's amazing.
I think one of the decisions that you made, one of the right decisions that you made, and Varun and you made, was to get prepared for this big challenge of your job search while you were in Qatar.
Yep.
And then that way, you became so confident after coming to Australia that, I mean, Varun getting a job while he was in Qatar was the
Yes.
first win. But the second win was after you came to Australia and you were looking after your little daughter, and you were still, after a few months, you started looking for the jobs.
Yep.
And right in the middle of COVID, you got a job. I
Totally,
mean, that is
totally.
fantastic. That's a great achievement, I would say.
Thank you so much. So, I mean, really, like they say, I think the universe conspires to give you what you want if you're absolutely clear in your head. And I was definitely very clear in my head that this is what I want. This is what I will get. And having said that, Varun being in the same profession, it really helps. Because we are almost in the same circle, so that has its own advantages, I would say. But yes, the pandemic and everything going on around was quite a challenge. Yes,
Yes,
it
absolutely.
still is. I'm not saying it. It's over. We are all grappling with it.
Yes, absolutely. We are coming to the end of this session now, Mitali.
Yes.
I know that you have a big bucket list, but let me say this to you. My prayer for you is, may you lead a better quality life. May you succeed in securing bright future for your daughter and for your family. And may you bring awareness towards cleaner and sustainable living. God bless you. I cannot thank you enough.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you to the entire CLA team for having had this journey with us. It was literally like a family holding us throughout this. So big thank you to
Thank you so much.
you.